What are you gonna do? You gonna kill me, Mr. J?
What? Oh, I'm not gonna kill you.
Hey everybody, I'm Sean, and this is my Suicide Squad discussion video. Have you seen it? What did you think? Let me know in the comments. I saw it last night, and tonight I'm taking the whole cast and crew of the Sean Ward Show to the preview screening in IMAX 3D. We've got 25 tickets, and if you want to see a video of us going to see the movie and turning the whole thing into a party, let me know in the comments, and I'll post that as a bonus video if you want to see it. Here's my short review of Suicide Squad. I loved it. I think the cosplayers and the comic book fans are really going to get into it, even though the word on the street is that it's getting bad reviews. And ironically enough, I think that's because of what it does right. Because more and more of these aren't designed to be standalone, singular, cinematic masterpieces. The thing is all about the larger, bigger thing that they all add up to. If you're gonna appreciate them at all, at this point, you kinda have to look at it all like a big, high production value series. And then whether or not somebody's into that series becomes the question. That interconnected serial nature is what makes it feel authentic to the comics, but it's also what would put off like a critic or maybe even a casual moviegoer off the deeper you get into it. Like critics that are gonna leave Suicide Squad and then for them it's all about the next movie and then Oscar buzz and celebrity gossip. Like they don't know or care who Enchantress is, they don't read DC comics, and so they don't give a shit. It's like Batman v Superman was the pilot episode of a show they don't want to watch, and now here they are watching the next episode because they have to, not because they want to. Does that make sense? Marvel deserves all the credit in the world. You know I am a huge Marvel fanboy, but they did it different in that they took the time to do one character at a time and build up to where they all meet. Whereas DC's going the other way. The movies are already a bigger part of their legacy, so they're just saying whatever and just dropping you right into the middle of this world that's already up and going and everyone's in place and the action's already happening. Like, I feel like this might finally be the movie where they've nailed the transition of the DC Comics universe. Batman v Superman's problem is that what it got right was a lot of the superficial stuff. This is the one where it now finally feels like the DC Comics universe brought to life. And a big part of that is Batman. DC and Warner Brothers, they know what side of their bread is buttered, and me coming to it as a Batman fan before even as a movie fan, I'm seeing a movie like this that's got not just Batman, but other members of the Justice League and seeing what they're doing to build out the world that this movie takes place in. Like, do you remember how they let the news out that Batman is gonna be in Suicide Squad? They were shooting in Toronto, Canada, and there was gonna be 3 big nights where they're doing a big scene out in a major downtown intersection. The first night it was as though word got out and savvy people just happened to know where to go to catch a glimpse. By the third night, it was like a cultural happening, and the big major downtown Times Square looking spot here was all cordoned off, people on like one side of the intersection with the cameras aimed at the opposite corner, and everybody's got their cell phones ready so that when the director yells action, comes careening around the Joker mobile with Batman on the top of the car. No one knew Batman was going to be in the movie yet. This was how they let the news out. Everybody putting up their social media posts and Snapchats and stuff of like Batman on top of the car. Like, that's the kind of fan embrace that it feels like this movie's going for, and it's going to be really interesting to see if there's enough of those kinds of fans to take a movie like this over the top. Being that the further you go and the deeper you get into this universe, the more alienating it's going to get to like critics and people like that who just aren't interested to begin with. And I loved how we got the villain's point of view of Batman. They did it a few times really effectively in the old animated series, but we haven't seen it in the movies yet. It was cool. Deadshot is a lot of fun. He has some of the best moments with the quips, some of the funniest moments, but also some of the best action moments. Also, it's so awesome to see badass Will Smith back in action. This is the Will Smith you love from Bad Boys and Independence Day, but like all grown up and poised and ready to kick some butt. But really, let's face it, this is the Harley Quinn and Joker show. But if they had tried to make a Joker and Harley Quinn movie, it probably would have had to show us too much to pad it out, and it would have come off feeling like X-Men Origins Wolverine. But to do it this way, where it's in this other movie and it feels like the intrigue and the mystique of it tentacles out into other movies, I can't wait to see more from these two. I wasn't sure Margot Robbie's right for the role, only because I see her as having more stature than to be subservient to anybody, let alone the Joker. But Harley Quinn would need this secret reservoir of strength, and that's what Margot Robbie succeeds in bringing to the role here. And the Joker, oh my god, Jared Leto comes out just as iconic as any screen Joker you've seen before. Only instead of having it be like Nicholson or Heath Ledger about the singular brilliant performance, it's more in the mold of Cesar Romero from the 60s TV show, in that this just feels like his latest appearance, and we're going to be seeing a lot more of him going forward. And what's cool about the way that they're doing their world building with this movie is that now, instead of just thinking he might be in the next sequel, we don't know where he's going to pop up. And he finally gets a Joker mobile. How cool is that? I think I liked Suicide Squad for the fact that it kind of doesn't matter on its own. It doesn't matter if there's a Suicide Squad 2 because the best of what's here, we know we're going to see again in 5 or 6 different movies. It almost feels like a bonus thing for hardcore fans to get into and dissect and enjoy in the run-up to Justice League. The biggest question is just if there's enough of those kinds of super fans to take a movie like this over the top, or is there a saturation point where you've gone too far into that universe? Either way, it's a big gamble, and I hope it pays off. Now, this movie's not my favorite. It's got its problems. For example, the look of it keeps feeling like it was finished and locked, and then somebody came in and turned the brightness down and added an aquamarine filter to it. And the pacing and the editing, especially kind of in the middle coming into the ending, you can sort of see what the talk has been about with executives getting cold feet and picking at it a little bit. But despite that, the central idea and the fun of it and the spirit of it is intact, and it feels like the DC universe is alive and on the screen. But far away, my favorite thing about this movie was knowing that they shot it in my hometown of Toronto, Canada, and seeing how many real-life locations pop up in the movie. Real-life locations where we've shot a lot of our epic superhero parody videos. So if you go back and look at some of our videos that are out in the city streets, you will recognize locations from the Suicide Squad movie. I got a last-minute ticket to see the Warner Brothers industry screening last night, but like I said, I'm taking the whole cast and crew of the Sean Ward Show to see it in IMAX 3D tonight. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and on my Facebook page for photos from tonight's event, as well as all kinds of behind-the-scenes posts from the making of our viral superhero videos. And stay subscribed because we have some epic superhero videos coming up as well. It's the final home stretch in our race to 500,000 subscribers. We're so close. Take us over the top by Fan Expo. Fan Expo, our big hometown Comic-Con. We're going to have a new product for sale there that I'm going to announce next week. This is an item unlike anything any YouTuber has ever tried to offer their subscribers and fans. I can't wait for you to see it. And don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of Suicide Squad. See you at the movies.
Well, we almost pulled it off, despite what everybody thought. The worst part of it is they're gonna blame us for the whole thing. And they can't have people knowing the truth.